Well, hello and welcome. I'm Peasant, and I am going to be taking on Sweden 6 with Ocean for you. Don't know why I'm so still. If he is night falls here on the boat, trying to feel the warm, feel the cold, thinking about maybe getting the fire going, kind of stuff. So, first decision, of course, is where I put my starting presence, and I'm going to put it here and with this town. Feels like the right place. And we've got those mountain explorers. Okay. So this is quite nice. We can deal with that grasping tide next turn. Definitely going to want to be doing this. This does just seem to be the best in my own experience. If you have different experiences, I'd love to hear from you. I just love to hear from you. Yeah, I did experiment with going with the other one first, but I'm just not sure. It just wasn't really good enough to high standards. I think Boon Deeps is pretty much always what you want to do. Pretty much always on turn one. So we'll Boon. It's just the Boon, especially in pure solo, you get more energy for that Boon. And you get rid of a town. And also against Sweden, I can deflirtify these guys so that the saucy Swedes don't hurt them later on. We've got excess drowning ability as well. Okay, so here we're going to go on to this. And minor. Uncanny melting is pretty good. We do like a bit of blight removal. And melting, that's sand and wetland, so that's actually pretty good. Because we're going to be trying to make a sacred site here. And we've already got some wetland with blight, so that's almost certainly what I'm going to go with. Call to Harn Ways is okay. This is I really dislike Song of Sanctity. It's my least favourite blight removal. And you can quote me on that. Let's stick this in here. Hopefully we'll get a bit of drowning action in there. I say hopefully. We will get some. Obviously this area in the middle is going to be gross, and it's going to be a double blight because we're against Sweden. There's nothing I can do about it, so I'm not going to dwell on it. Just going to accept. Thanks for that fear card. Very helpful. So yeah, the double blight. And they do get to place a town from that effect. Not got much experience against Sweden 6. I'll level with you, Pete. Okay, so we have a Sand Ravage in here incoming. How that influences what I'm doing here. Yeah, so that's obviously the right thing to do. And we have some Uncanny Melting, and we've got this. Get rid of. And, as usual, excess ability to drown on the coast. So we have a Sand Ravage here. And here. Now, these are only going to drop a singular blight. There's part of me that's even tempted to go with placing more presence now. Especially this option here. Just try going with a major. Probably a terrible idea. In fact, I know it's a terrible idea. So I'm going to stop going on about it. And again, we don't have a lot of energy. We're going to have a build here. So we should be able to eat them. So I think minor is what we want. Okay, Nature's Resilience is amazing. It's amazing with this spirit. It's fast blight removal is just a joy. It's a joy. We do already have a blighted island. A bit unfortunate. I think this is the call here. Yeah. So we have to gather in. So we can actually feasibly eat this city this turn. As long as I go with things that are blue and mountain, so these kinds of things. I probably should have considered that when I was choosing this. So in this case, I think I will absorb in here so that I actually can eat. And so what I mean by we need 3 water and 2 mountains. So that means we have to use these 2. I think it's worth it. Getting rid of a city is definitely worth it. So you just double check. Yeah, we got it. Got it. So we can Grasping Titan here. And we are downward spiraling, we'll take from the ocean. And we have this Ravage, which is fine, and this Ravage, which isn't. But luckily it's only a single blight, so it's not the end of the world. And in fact, we can actually completely clear this land out pre-Ravage, which is really nice. If you can prevent the Swedish Ravage, that does seem to be great. Really great. So yeah, do that. Eat their city as well. And we'll tidal boon ourselves. And we had nothing to push, of course. So this Ravage we don't care about. This is going to be another double whammy. And makes me not a lot I can do about it with the cards in hand. Or anything even. We're actually okay. This is a double blight is fine. Maybe we could even think about doing this option here and uncanny melting to remove this blight here. And gaining our kind of arsenal of cards. Yeah, I quite like that idea. Yeah. So getting to 4 actions is the sweet spot. I think, well, it's good anyway. And reclaiming is bad. so yeah. And it's gonna. And we could go for a major here, but I think the chances of getting a major we don't want are high. And we've only drawn useful miners so far. So I'm going to go with a miner here. Yeah, I'm going to go with a miner. There's a small chance we might get a miner that will actually help with this situation as well. So, we got here. Obviously, these are nice icons for our fear generation. I don't feel like I've fought with Sweden enough to know how I tend to win against them. What's failing the Knight's Hunt possibilities? Not super great for what we're trying to do here. So it's going to be one of these. Steam Vents has got the Mountain Water combo, which is really good. If we want to get up to this level 4, which is pretty amazing, that's probably what we're going to want to do. So I think Steam Vents, we've got loads of energy. So often Steam Vents feels a bit expensive, but it's okay for us. We've got all the energy ever. So we're going to be making a Sacred Site in here, and we'll push into here. I might want to make a Sacred Site in here actually in future. Sure, that seemed to make sense, but I never really had a chain of logic for it. Okay, so we can drown a town. Yeah, this is okay. So can't do anything about that. We've actually got multiple ways of removing. So fast phase blight removal. We've got slow phase blight removal. We've got it all. Some fear. So Steam Vents isn't going to do anything for us. Could remove this ahead of time. Okay, and then we've got downward spirals, so yeah, you always want to remove from the ocean. Unless you're about to use Call of the Deeps, and Call of the Deeps is important to you. Okay, so we've got another double blighter there. It's still kind of okay. It says vaguely. It's like a lot of Swedes everywhere. If I can, yeah, so if I build a Sacred Site on one of these, I can start using Nature's Resilience on these areas here. I think I might withdraw from this one, maybe? Because then Sacred Site here means that this is covered by an adjacent Sacred Site as well. The reason I like this one here is because it can reach into here with some of the 2-range stuff. So Uncanny Melting isn't going to remove any blight, unfortunately. We can get a fear. Then we can eat a city. Lovely stuff. Okay, we're at Terror level 2. So this is certainly a reclaim. It is a reclaim. I like to not assume that I'm going to reclaim every time, because I think sometimes it is worth pressing on this time. So we're going to be retreating from the sand. But first, let's gain a card. And I think we want a major here. We're starting to get some problems in the interior. And if we could get something that will sort this out, that'd be marvelous. Though actually, what's this? This is 5, 8, 10 damage. If I go resilience and something else. Yeah, awful. Yeah, we want a major. We've got all the energy, and we'll work out what we get rid of soon enough. Okay, land thrashes is going to be good. There's blight everywhere. Sweden even starts with some extra blight on the board, so that's quite tempting. So got reasonable icons for us. The Moon Mountain thing is actually not too hard for us to get. Start with a couple of Moon Mountains. Well, I say that. Maybe we don't. We start with one Moon Mountain. So that does make it a lot easier. So obviously, if you can double up on this, it's even better. We do also have the Jungle Hunters potential, but again, the great thing about Land Thrashers is the range 2 on it. It means that I can get anywhere on the island with it. So that is what I'm going to go with. And what do I forget? So I need to prioritize moony mountainy stuff. So I think Swallow the Land Dwellers, it's time for you to go. Sorry, okay. So we're going to gather in sands. And I've got 4 plays, all the energy in the universe. We need to deal with this ravage. This is just going to happen. So we can do this. And I think we just start thrashing around. That's just what we have to do. So 2 more plays, and we need to do this. We're up to our... So our last card definitely needs a mountain. So we could get on... We could start removing blight, but there's no adjacent blight. There will be in here though. No, that's fast blight removal. So I think we want this one, but that doesn't have a mountain on it. Okay, maybe we don't go Grasping Tide and we go Nature's Resilience in here to defend in there. Then we can go Uncanny Melting to do some cleanup in there. So we've only got a town destruction, but we do have the secondary land thrashing because we don't actually have any cities here. We will have one. I think this is the call. Yeah. So we're gonna Nature's Resilience in here. Okay, then we've got our Downward Spiral. A little low on the old presence. And we can push up to 3 from an inner, can we? So, well, we can prevent the double blight drop here. That's pretty worthwhile. And I think we'll push them all to the same land. Don't want to assume that that's the right thing to do. So that'd be 4, 6, 7 damage in here. 3. Yeah, so we don't want to add any more in here because we can clear that in the slow phase. See, unless the Explorer scuppers us. So I'm going to put them all on the coast. The coastest with the mostest. Yeah, so that was a pretty nice reprieve on that. So now we're into the Explore. And Explore, build. So we can thrash around and pay. And these feel like the obvious candidates. This would be a nice one to kind of eliminate. So let's do that first, obviously before we start removing blight. That'd be a little bit sad to do it in the wrong order. So we'll do this here. So 8 damage. So that's the city. That's the towns. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. And then we can do it in an adjacent area. This is probably the right area. Though, where's our incoming Ravage? We can also just try and prevent a build. Which probably has a good amount of value. Because obviously if there's nothing there, then there's no Ravage. And Sweden, I think the Ravage is... A lot of them, you just don't really care if they Ravage, but Sweden is a bit different in that regard. So I am going to go with this here, I think, to clear that land out. Because I'm going to be able to keep on using this. I mean, this blight, I'm not going to be able to do a lot about it for a while. Do anything about it for a while. Okay, so we've got 2 town drowns. So we can do... I'll do both of them in here. So we'll get in the ocean. And... do we want to move this guy? We don't really want this bloke to be on his own because the Swedes will flirt with them. And then... Oh, except we're too late in the game for that to matter, because that's a... So we're not going to push them anywhere. And we're going to uncannily melt in the one place that we can. It's in here. Just gain us a fear, and then we can eat town. And we're going to do it in here. Because this should be, well, almost defensible with Call of the Deeps. Because again, you don't really want to reclaim unless you have to, and I'm getting really low on presence on the board, so I definitely want to be placing some more. And I think got Ravage here, doesn't matter. This Ravage we can defend. This is 6 attacks, so if I do play both of those, then I can drag away one of the Explorers from that space, and one from up here, and then this defend 4 will take care of the rest. And yeah, so I'm not going to reclaim. And now do I go with gaining a power card, or do I gain 2 presence? Given that the island is already blighted, I'm really feeling the pain on the presence. Is the extra moon going to help? I suppose it's going to help with land thrashes. But an extra power card would be nice. Be lovely. This is a tricky one. Major or minor in this situation? I mean, what would I forget if I went for a major? I like all of these. I look like I've got a lot of energy now, but once you start getting a load of... I'm going to go with a minor. Once you start gaining a load of major powers, that energy doesn't last long. Even when you have as much energy as this spirit does. Okay, so this is a moon mounted, but obviously it's a 0 ranger, so it's not great for this spirit a lot of the time. However, in this circumstance, I could use it this turn, but we've already got a good defensive plan in place of that, so it doesn't have an immediate value, apart from it is a moon mountainer. So Rain of Blood as good icons for fear, and 3 fear is a hell of a lot of fear to just pull out of nowhere of 0 cost. And the purple should mean that I get my ship plans to splinters more often. More beasts? I don't think so. Rouse the trees and stones. I mean, it's tempting to go just for the Moon Mountains, but I just don't think that's quite the right thing to do. So I think... yeah, I think we go with Rain of Blood here. Yeah, not sure. No clear favourite there. We're going to go with unlocking our 5th action, and we're going to go in here. Obviously, there's no push from the coast because there isn't. For the big explain. Okay, that's good. Should be gaining a good amount of fear here. So we can call. Oh no, we can't call from the depths. That is that's a problem. We can still weaken by calling them. Oh, we can't. That is a real problem. I've messed that up. We might get lucky. Oh, we can steam vents instead. Okay, we've got a backup, an accidental backup plan. Damn it. So let's pull that guy to the coast. Yeah, not the best turn. Not the best turn in my life. Okay, so we've got the downward spiral. So our land thrashers and pain doesn't need a sacred site. Yeah, I'm going to leave this sacred site here because I want to be removing this blight if I can. Each player removes 2 explorers or a town from a land with huts. Okay, then this is where the buildings go after the explorers. I didn't realize I had this many fear cards. Okay, so we have this, which is fine. Okay, so wetlands ravaging coming. This one obviously has been sorted. So now we've just got this one to worry about. Alright, so we can Rain of Blood in here, gain 3 fear. And we can drown a town in here. Okay, now we just need to destroy all the cities. We've got 3 cities on the board. That's not necessarily going to be that straightforward. But yeah, it's all the blight. It's all over here. And so if I could destroy this city and this city simply by doing land thrashes with a with its kicker. I am going to have to withdraw into the ocean a bit. Really want to withdraw from this one. Can I win this turn, though? So we've got this Ravage here, which is going to put down 2 Blight. So we don't need to worry about the Ravage. If I can... Then Mountain Jungle is going to be... That's going to be a town build. That's going to be a town build. That's also going to be a town build. If I've got a way of destroying all of these, then that should be game. Where are we with cards? How many fear cards do we need to generate? 5. So 20 fear. We don't really have much of a fear engine going. So yeah, it's tricky. Tricky. Need to work out. I mean, could be a major power. If we get a major that can take care of one of these. Oh, there's actually 4 cities on the board. Okay, game. Be like that. Yep. So I'm gonna look at my card first. Oh, it's that thing. Do I go minor or major? So if that ravages, then I'm down on 2 blight, and then we're into the doubles. That is going to be grim. So I think my best bet is to go for a major now. Got 8 cards. Yeah, I think we go for a major now. Okay, we've got some really good stuff here. Wins. These 2 are 2 of the best cards we could want. This card is so good that it even makes Rain of Blood more appetizing. So that is... I could use that to defend twice, so it might be good next turn. Also, I can use it to remove 2 cities, which is obviously pretty incredible. Maybe the win this turn is on. In fact, I think it might be. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cities. I could remove these 2, but then they'll immediately rebuild. Because they'll turn into towns, and then a city will be built afterwards. So, but maybe if I take this and I don't use it this turn, but use it the fast phase next turn, along with Rain of Blood. Paralyzing Fright is incredible. And I won't be able to use it this turn though. See, I think, yeah, that's still quite a lot of fear. I think we go wins, and I'll deliberately hang on to Rain of Blood and something else and Steam Vents, and we'll try and get rid of our last 2 cities with those next turn. So Uncanny Melting, do we care about that anymore? Really? So we'll forget Uncanny Melting. Gather into the Ocean. We need a sacred site for Winds of Rust and Atrophy. So need to make sure we don't mess that up. So I'm going to drag this one back in. But then I actually... No. I actually can't reach this area if I have dragged that back in. I'm going to drag this one back in. And I'm going to make sure next turn that I add a sacred site to the board. Okay, so we're keeping these 3 for next turn. What are we doing this turn then? It's not these 3. Oh, we're thrashing. We are other Moon Mountain carding. We can't Nature's Resolve because we don't have the sacred site. This is the kind of mistake that's so easy to make, and I've made these mistakes more times than I'd like to admit. So we can... Yeah, we can't actually do anything about these ravages, so we may as well at least get some fear going. And may as well grasp at those tides. I've actually got 5 actions, but I'm not going to play them because there's no point in playing cards I can't use, and obviously if I played this now, that would just be a mistake. That would be a blunder. Okay, so this doesn't matter at all. We're not playing with events here. Not yet. So need to make sure I remember to... Oh no, I don't need... Doesn't matter where I bring them from. So we're going to get some fear. So that was another fear card. And Downward Spiral. I'd actually forgotten about Downward Spiral. Okay. So... Actually, it's fine. I don't think it matters. Doesn't matter. I'll take this one so I can drown a city. Each player may remove up to 3 health worth invaders from a land without a city. Well, let's just prevent this build then. That's kind of gross. I'm not going to complain though, because complaining's bad. Each player removes an invader from a land with 2 or fewer invaders. Okay, well the game has just decided. I've actually just realised I didn't get the... Okay, well this one's going to make up for my foolishness. And that's the double blight we're expecting. It's going to add a town, so I need to make sure I don't add it to a mountain or jungle, so I'll add it to the sand. And we now have 3 cities on the board. So I messed this up because I didn't gain the extra mountain I needed. So I should have played resilience instead of tide, I think. So we can drown this city. And we can do this in here, which wipes it out. There's only 1 city left on the map, so I'm going to be able to finish that off with winds and rust and atrophy. So it's tidal boon. Let's push this into the ocean. And I can push this guy somewhere. He's had enough being pushed around. He's going to stay where he is. So we are now into the fast phase. So I need to make sure that, okay, the one thing I need to make sure is that I actually make a sacred site happen somewhere. And I'm going to do it by doing this. So that's 2 of these in the ocean. And play all these. So there is only 1 city on the maps. But, so do this, move that city, and that should be game. So that was Ocean versus Prussia 6. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.